evening. Welcome to the board meeting. We'll start off. We'll open the meeting to the public. They address the board on any topic you wish. There'll be another opportunity near the end of the meeting to also address the board. Anyone? Yes, please identify yourself for the clerk.
Sure. Amanda Frostic. Jeannie Longevin. We are coming in on behalf of the North Country Skating Club.
Okay.
We want to discuss the ice and some of the concerns that we've had with it recently. Some of the concerns being it's very choppy and the kids are falling. And we don't believe that the ice is getting resurfaced in between, like halfway point for the hockey before us. So when they only do it the one time for us, we're getting on the ice late. And our first ice is only half an hour. Like today was 5 minutes late. So parents are noticing because they're paying for a full half hour and not getting it. The other day it was like 3 minutes, it's been 7 minutes. So we just wanted to bring it forward to see if there's something that can be done.
Well, I'll tell you where we are, and then I'll let the administrator, he's the in charge of the rec center. As you know, we've had quite a turnover in personnel. People have been here for years, aren't here anymore. I mean, they're here, but they're not here. We've had to hire new people. We've had trouble hiring additional people. We've advertised a couple of times, and anyway, they're learning the job. And we've had some technical glitches, which we think we've overcome. There was a problem with the hot water, which affects the ice. And Tuesday, I believe it was, there was no hot water. I went down with Superintendent Pelkey, and we looked around and found out somebody turned the breaker off for the hot water tank. Don't know how that happened. And then I found a new valve that we had in stock, which was $700. We had one. So we had that installed this week. But the bigger thing that we changed is we got one of the older operators that used to be in the rec center, John Bernard, and he used to work here before he was what he is now. And he told them a different way of filling the water in the Zamboni, so it doesn't drain all the hot water at one time, so there's no shower hot water. And they just kind of trickle it in and it comes out. So that way, they should have enough hot water for the Zamboni and for the showers. It's just a matter of like timing. Use the water before somebody comes off the ice. It's just a timing deal. And training. Zamboni seems to be working fine. They changed the blades on it the other day when I was here, but they change them all the time anyway and have them resharpened. So I think if you bear with us, I think we're gonna fix it. We're aware of the problems, some of them. And doing all we can. I mean, we're not just ignoring this and now we're going to have crummy ice this year. It's not going to be like that at all. And that's what we're hoping for. Steve, you want to chime in?
Yeah, no, I think you're right on. I do know the hot water issue that he mentioned. Jessica had relayed to me that last week, that the quality of the ice had gone down substantially because there wasn't enough hot water. I think that's been addressed, and she's also mentioned just today the blade on the Zamboni being kind of chewed up when it shouldn't have been. So we have I think we've got an issue we need to address with one of our other employees about how they're approaching their use on the Zamboni. But I'll get with you afterward if you're still here and get contact information and address your concern and go from there.
I think it might have to, some of the concern as well for ice time is the management of, I know it's hard getting the hockey team off the ice on time so that the Zamboni can get on the ice, and when they're not getting the team off the ice and they're giving the team a few extra minutes, the Zamboni's taking a few extra minutes, and therefore we're losing out on time.
Of course.
So,
and well, that's obviously not fair.
Right.
No. We recognize that. If you're paying for a half an hour, you should get a half an hour.
So,
right.
We understand and we do appreciate the quality of the ice with the training of the Zamboni drivers. And I mean, last week when Bobby Marks did it, it was great that night. And we know the temperature, there's a hole in the ice now. We get all that. So now I think one of our more important concerns is we are losing time that we're paying for, and our smallest kids are getting a 25-minute ice time. And they're, you know, some of the more important children who need to learn. And so, time management of the teams before us, if that
Sure.
could just be addressed.
course.
So it's not club to club having to speak.
Right.
It's not our
Right.
place to tell them to get off the ice, but also it's not being addressed with them, so.
You got it? Yeah, as soon as this is done, if you're still here, I'll check in with you and we'll get it resolved.
Now, is there a reason why they stopped resurfacing halfway through?
I don't know whether they are or not.
They're
So,
not.
okay, I
It's
don't
their
know.
choice, that's what they have said. And we're kind of like, it's chewing up the ice so much that it can't be resurfaced just once for us.
Okay, well, like I said, afterward, we'll go through all those details and figure out what's going on and see if we can adjust to make it better.
Is it only certain times when your ice is not good, or
It has been every
Every
night.
time.
every time?
And we've tried changing the Zamboni times as well, so then a different group of kids gets cheated out of 10 minutes of
Right.
time. You know, or we try, if it's on the Monday nights, to extend it, so they still get their 45 minutes, because we have that extra 15 minutes.
Can I get a clarification? Every time, meaning the quality of the ice or the timing? You were
Both.
talking about quality, right?
Both.
Both, we're talking about
Every
timing and
time?
and
Yeah.
quality.
The only
So
time
like
that
from the
we-
beginning of the season to now, or just in the last week?
It's been pretty much the
All right.
entire time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we've heard the opposite from other groups, so I want to just make sure that I understand what, if there's
We are
an issue
only
with figure
Mondays and
skating.
Fridays.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and hockey is supposed to get it, I believe, until 5:15, 5:20. They are not off the ice at 5:20, and therefore our girls are not even getting on the ice until 5:35. And the ice, if you will, is like skating on rumble strips. And
You can
it's
see it.
large divots, they can't do their spins, they can't do their turns. Their ice picks, toe picks are getting stuck in those divots. And someone is going to get hurt. They're falling. The smallest kids are constantly tripping because their tiny little skates are getting stuck in those grooves. So it is both time management and the quality of the ice.
Well, I'll speak on behalf of the whole board here, is that we are absolutely committed to having quality ice. You know, we're gonna have a quality product in this facility, and we'll straighten out the timing of how it's done. Like I say, we're going through a little bump now that, you know, the facility manager's only been here since February, so she hasn't seen a full season through, and she's making pretty good progress. And then we hired the other guy, who's only been here for a month or so.
At best.
And he's had no experience, and, you know, we're rebuilding this from nothing.
And we know she has worked with
been
us,
great.
they've been good to us, and it's just like every week we come in and, we see it just
Well, the
not
parents are
improving.
noticing.
And now we are getting complaints from the parents. People are paying for private lessons, and
Not getting quality
they're not
time,
getting
not
their
getting quality ice.
ice.
Yeah.
And they're paying for their children to have ice lessons, and
Mhm.
so we just wanted to, we're not trying to throw anyone under the bus, we just thought maybe.
Oh, no,
brought
it's
it to
good that
attention.
you have some concerns and stuff, and
We want
we don't hear about this and stuff like that, yeah,
We want to hear it.
yeah, definitely.
Well, you can call me or any board member here at home, or talk to Steve Peters, because he's the one that's in charge of this facility overall. I mean, he has people under him. So between all of us, we're all on your side, so
Yeah.
we gotta be able to figure this out somewhere now. And I'm sure that we will.
Can I ask a favor of you ladies, can you come back in 2 weeks and give us an honest evaluation of any changes? And, or at any board meeting, should we keep a continuous update on this to see if there's improvement?
Sure will.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next meeting's the 17th. But like I say, you can call us before that too.
Will
Okay,
we get the
anything else?
contact information?
Hmm?
I don't believe we have the contact information. At least I don't.
If you see
Yeah,
Donna
I'll get that
over
from
there,
you.
she'll give it to
Right.
you. Or Steve's got cards he'll hand out.
Yeah. You got a pen, I can give you my phone number. You can go.
We'll make sure that you have all our phone numbers.
I
Yeah, you know where 5 9th Street. 8167.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Sure.
time.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate
More
it.
measuring to do.
Okay, minutes of the previous meeting, November 19th. Are there any errors or omissions noted by the board?
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, bills. Our son, are there any additional bills?
No, there is not.
Okay. Any comment on the bills from the board?
I make a motion that bills be paid.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence.
We have one letter this evening from Montgomery Hose Hook and Ladder. Dear Mayor and Village Trustees, each year the members of the Rouses Point Fire Department holds a children's Christmas party. This includes a visit with Santa, fire truck rides throughout the village, and goodies for all the boys and girls. This year the event will be held on Saturday, December 8th, commencing at noon at the Rouses Point Fire Station. Once again, members are requesting approval from the village board to allow us to provide fire truck rides for those in attendance. We thank the board for their support over the past year, and we wish everyone a most joyous, healthy, and happy holiday season. Respectfully submitted, Dennis Roberts, Secretary.
Okay, we need a motion to approve fire truck usage for this purpose.
So move.
Have a second? Second from trustee Dart, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that's all we have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have employee evaluations. Does everyone have a copy of this?
No,
Did you
no,
give
they
me-
don't. No.
Is this supposed to be executive session, or just read this, or?
Did you just bring up that he passed
Okay,
satisfactorily?
this is for
Yes,
the
the supervisor
chief
is
water,
here.
wastewater treatment plant operator was in a 3-month probationary period as chief operator. I have his evaluation from his supervisor saying that he's,
Sorry about
that
that.
he's high performance rating on everything. No problems. His evaluator recommends this, that he be approved. Would anybody like to see this? Hmm? Want to see this now? So anyway, what we need to do is a motion to approve this is per the contract.
Good. Good to me.
Thought you guys all had it. That's good. Okay, I need a motion to approve this promotion.
I make a motion to approve Mr. Gay as the
Chief operator.
chief operator for the sewer plant.
Second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. We just ask the administrator to send a letter to Mr. Gay congratulating him on his promotion there. Okay, I have parking ban in effect December 1st, 2018 through March 31st, 2019 per Village Code 112-17. Parking of trailers, vehicles, semi-trailers, or house coaches detached from their towing vehicles is hereby prohibited in all streets within the village between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. during that time period. Holiday train. The holiday train this year was very successful. Passed out 185 cups of hot chocolate. So I would assume that the crowd was probably about 250, because I don't think everybody got a cup of hot chocolate. Everybody was very happy, everything went smoothly. The one thing that I would recommend, and I'm going to bring it up at budget time, is that the village get a porta potty for that night, because we've just got too many people up there, little kids and stuff, that there's no bathrooms around, so I think that would help. It only lasts about 3 hours or so, or 2
Well,
hours.
some people go there at 5 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
They start parking their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Some come to the house and want to use the restroom, and some go to my son's house to use the bathroom, and, yeah, it would be a good idea.
So I think it's something long overdue.
Yes,
So
very good.
we'll discuss that during the budget time. We put the money in for celebrations. Is that where it comes under, Carson? Okay.
4th of July,
Yeah.
whatever.
Now, an update on the CMES contract. The village attorney has reviewed it, made a few suggested changes. We've passed it back to the Champlain. They have their attorney looking at our changes. Most of our changes were just for a matter of clarification and to make it smoother to read and understand. We didn't change any money numbers around or anything like that. So we're waiting to hear back from them, but the ball's in their court. As soon as it comes in, I'll put it on the agenda and make get a board resolution to approve signing it. Also attended on the 29th, I attended a meeting in Clinton County Office of Emergency Services, which had to do with Lake Champlain Richelieu River flooding. And I was there a couple hours for that. I don't think there's a lot of participatory reason for us to be there. They're working on the plan with the Corps of Engineers and the, not the Corps of Engineers, but the U.S. Geographical Survey, and some college professors and some graduate students that seem to be using this for their graduate studies. So anyway, I talked to a couple of people that were from Essex County and a few other places around the lake, but it seems like basically is what I think we all thought along, was that, as you know, Lake Champlain narrows into the Richelieu River, which is, I think it starts by the lighthouse on the other side, somewhere in front of my house, or a little bit south is where the river actually starts. And it narrows down when it gets up into St. John. Well, it narrows all the way up there. And then it gets into this funnel where they put a canal into the river, which restricts how much water can go in there by about a fourth. And then there's sediments and buildup in the bottom of the rest of the river that's reduced its carrying capacity by quite a bit. And I think that's where the problem, from what I can understand, is why we get flooding here. The flood that we had in 2011 was a 100-year flood, which doesn't mean that it won't happen for another 100 years. It means there's a 1% chance it could happen any year. Every year there's a 1% chance of having that kind of a flood, if that means anything to anybody. In reality, when's the last time we had a flood like that? 100 years ago. So anyway, that's where that went. We have a waiver and release of liability form. Does everyone have a copy of that? Yep. Okay, this is, I guess this is mostly for, well, I guess it's for anybody using village property for an activity. This wouldn't affect the fire department. We're a village department. It does affect, I believe, people using this facility indoors or outdoors for activities. And anything else in particular? Steve, you want to comment on this?
Yeah, this is, waivers recommended by our insurance company. The language was submitted by our attorney, and it's only really for, I'll call it unorganized groups or individuals using the facility. So stick and puck is what they recommended we have a waiver for, as well as like open skate. Those are just common things. So if you go to any other open skate, you got to sign a waiver. So those types of things that they're recommending that we do to protect the village for any liability. If there is a group like figure skating, for example, they're providing us with insurance. That's covering the group. People are operating underneath that umbrella. That's a different scenario. This is just for those kind of one-off things, or those where individuals are using the facility without an umbrella type insurance policy.
Does the stage committee age group or whatever that put on performance out here on Thursday night, do they have to sign one of these?
No, not at all.
No?
No.
What happens if somebody gets hurt down there?
Our liability, as I understand it, covers park activities, use that is consistent with park usage. So you got the liability for that no matter what,
Okay.
you know.
So this has nothing to do with the 4th of July?
No, it really doesn't. It's more of a facility use waiver in an activity like this.
So this wouldn't be like for when they have open public skating? You
No.
would expect everybody to sign one of these, would you?
Yeah, we would in this case. That's what the insurance company's recommending. And that's the same if you go to like SUNY Plattsburgh open skate, you're signing a waiver when you register.
So what happens if, like a 12-year-old comes down here without his parents and skates, stuff like that, you're gonna have him sign a waiver?
You'd have to have the parents do it.
So every time, or just once for the year?
Depends on how we'd want to manage it.
We have
If
a lot
you
of
put
kids
a lot of
that,
work here or something.
Yeah.
a lot of kids that show up here without their parents and during open skating.
So our insurance company's recommended that we have a waiver for people to sign when they use the facility. That's their recommendation.
When you say facilities, is it the entire land or just in
No,
this building?
no.
I believe this can be used for other activities or other things that we may do in the future, but this is specifically for the ice rink. Once
This is
again,
just for the ice rink.
that's the impetus for this, is just for the ice rink.
Well, I don't have a problem adopting a waiver form. It's a question of who you would want to be required to use it. And I think somebody comes here and skates on the ice is no different than somebody from the public coming in and watching a band outside in the summertime. They're on the facility, and they're covered by our liability. But you start making people sign legal papers before they can get on the ice, you're gonna fold this place up as far as participation. I mean, first thing, kid comes up here, he can't sign it legally unless his parents are here. And they find, say some 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid that comes up here, and you're gonna turn him around because he doesn't have this form? Are we gonna keep a card, a file?
I mean, I can ask our insurance company what they recommend or what their policy is for that. I didn't create this.
No, I know you
You know what I
did.
mean? So I can go back and figure out if there's a way to do it.
Well,
As a parent, I'm telling you, I sign waivers all the time. It is not foreign at all, you know?
But I mean, I could see if you were gonna sign it for the year or something like that, but not every time you come skating. I mean, if a kid comes down here every day of the week to skate,
Well, as I said, it depends on how we manage it. So maybe we can keep a list. You know, there's
Okay,
a few different
let's
ways
do
to do
this.
that.
Let's adopt the form, and then have the recreation committee, Benny and Dale, meet with you and Jess and figure out how we're gonna implement this. And make it so it works,
Yeah.
so realistic,
yeah.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have a motion to adopt the form.
I so moved on adopting
The
a
waiver.
waiver form.
Okay, you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion's carried. We'll get together at the convenience of parties I mentioned and come up with some realistic way to use this.
Okay.
I'm thinking like if, say you had somebody come in here and use this for some kind of a home show or some kind of a show, not an ice show, but something like in the summertime, you got somebody up here that wants to rent this place. They must sign waivers and provide that they have their own insurance, right?
That's correct. This is not inclusive of that.
Okay.
This is when somebody shows up, rents a facility as an individual, and brings on a whole bunch of other individuals. There's no insurance coverage for those people. The
Yeah,
insurance
like a
coverage...
circus or something.
No.
No?
A circus would provide their insurance. This is an
Oh.
individual renting the facility.
I see,
So
okay.
if they have a birthday party, for example, a bunch of individuals will come to the facility, and all of that liability gets transferred to the taxpayers. And you know, even then, our attorney's saying that waivers don't preclude somebody from suing.
Yeah.
It just provides somewhat of a barrier for them to decide to do that. So you can't ever take away somebody's right to sue, but the liability transfer really kind of takes place when there's an insurance company, like for example over figure skating or you know the hockey clubs or something like that. So it's a different scenario.
Okay, well, I'll leave that in your hands, Ben, and get around to Dale when he gets a chance.
Okay.
And we'll figure this out. Okay, bid results on the sidewalk plow. Donna, would you read them? They were?
The bid results, the bid was open on November 26th at 9 a.m. In front of the administrator, and the bid results were Taylor Rental, $63,700 with a trade-in value at $6,000. So that amount of money is with the trade-in. And that
That's
was
the
only-
net, 63.7.
That was the only bid that we received.
Okay, now, I understand we had the village mechanic and the village superintendent go over the bid, and they said that it did not meet our specifications. There was variances or deviations from the bid specs. So, what I would recommend is that we reject this bid, authorize the clerk to go out to bid again tomorrow morning, and make sure that in addition to the bid in the legal ad in the newspaper, we send out bid packages to 4 or 5 vendors that the superintendent has recommended to us. So we'll get 4 or 5 bids so we can see what's going on here.
I'll make a motion that we throw out the bid from Taylor Rental. They are certainly welcome to rebid. That we rewrite the specification again, and that the village superintendent of public works provides us with a list of parties to whom generally manufactures this piece of equipment. And also, if it's to be run in the paper again, then I would suggest probably a longer time this time, maybe, and a bigger ad. Or something didn't get somebody's attention, so I don't know if that's one of the two.
I think part of the problem was that we put it in this paper, but the vendors for this particular kind of equipment are like in Watertown and Syracuse, and they don't get the paper.
Yeah.
So a couple of them actually did find out about it online somehow and requested bid information. So I think we've got the list of all the vendors in the reasonable area, 200-300 miles, that could possibly provide something that meets our specs. So we're going to make sure that they get a package by email tomorrow. Plus, we'll still advertise it for anyone else. Okay, so a motion to do that from Trustee Dart. Have a second to reject the bids and re-advertise tomorrow.
Second.
We have a second by Trustee Arnold. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That's all I have. Trustee Arnold.
The only thing I have is just like to thank Mr. Balke for changing the mixing valve here, and that helped out, I guess, quite a bit of controversy over the hot water here and there and stuff like that. And so, also I talked to Susan and on the library and stuff, and she said everything is running pretty smooth over there, and she was going to a class today. So, yeah. So that's all I have for now. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Before I forget, remind the board that we have a meeting tomorrow for a chance to view the water plant in Swanton. We have to be there at 1:30, so we should meet. Did you have any luck on Alberg?
No, I have not received any replies. I've called multiple times.
Ron, you know somebody you can call over there? You see, maybe we can catch them on the way back through Swanton? Okay, so we should probably meet at the village office about 12:30, 12:45. We'll take the 2 village cars and drive over there. Also, we'd like Mr. Pelkey, John Bernard, and David Carter from the water plant. And somebody's got to tell him, because I forgot all about it this weekend. See if he can make it. Okay, so that's all I had there. Okay, Trustee Dart.
I gave you a copy of something quickly I put together after our last Economic Development Committee meeting. We met 3 times, and we got a warm reception from the business owners, the residents, and members of our planning and zoning committee. Ron and I were both pleased with the results that we had received. We're going to be putting together a comprehensive, but as Ron states, a very simple-to-read blueprint, a plan to move forward. Residents hope for support from the village. I know that was brought up at 2 different times in all aspects of this needed cornerstone of positive impact for Rouses Point. The report will identify need, concern, and want. The report will identify possible sources of funding, we hope. The report will identify individual groups, companies, etc., that will be key players and/or benefactors in our development. The EDC implementations could be the biggest driving force in economic development the village has ever seen, I would think. When we put something together, plan together, and then after sometime in January, I'm thinking, is we're going to ask a couple key people that attended our meetings to join us as we're going to call a focus group. Then we can move on from there. But as I said, Ron and I are very pleased with the information that we received, and it also has been well received by even folks that haven't even come to the meetings, or whatever. Folks who've been to the meetings, folks that haven't come to the meetings. Everyone is cheering on the fact that Rouses Point wants to really get on the bandwagon of redevelopment. That's it. Thank you.
How many people were at the meeting the other night, 27th?
27th, it was Ron and I, and then I talked with a gentleman outside. Meeting before that, there were 2 individuals, one planning board and one private citizen, and a business owner, and then there was a business owner at the first meeting.
Okay.
I field a lot of calls and see people off the street, and no one communicated with me. So to me, it was a huge success.
Okay, you have anything
Now,
else?
when do you have your meetings? Once a month? Or?
No, they have 3 scheduled for the month of November, and on the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th.
I mean, are you going to have them every month, or?
Not just yet, no. What we'll probably do now is we got to put together a comprehensive plan, and the village will have to be on board with it before we go further. Then we'll probably have focus group meetings. We'll let everybody know when those are going to be.
Okay.
We do know there's at least 2 people that are interested in the focus group to join Ron and I. So we're hoping for 6 total. We've got 4 now.
You don't want to get too many of you unworkable.
Well, that's it, right. We want to keep it small, and that's why we want to call it a focus group. But yeah, then we've already had the 3 meetings.
Oh, okay.
All right, that was it?
That's it, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Menard is not here tonight. Trustee LeBlanc.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one issue that disturbs me greatly. Since I've been a member of the board, I believe in openness to the public and openness to the board. No hidden agendas. Unfortunately, an issue has come where, if you remember, at our last meeting, there was a motion made to send a letter to ERS requesting a meeting about negotiating to obtain 2 properties that they own. There was a letter that was sent to ERS. I went to the administrator and asked for a physical copy of the letter and was denied. He did offer to let me read the letter. I did read the letter. I then asked Trustee Dart to also go over independently and read the letter and confirm what I did see. And there was nothing in that letter that met the request that was made from the lawful motion that was voted on. So in effect, Mr. Mayor, this lawful motion was basically made null and void, apparently, for whatever reason. But the fact remains, a lawful order was not executed. Now, I don't know who dictated the letter. However, the mayor is the final point for the village. And I'd like to bring out basically village law 4-400 empowers the mayor to do certain things you're aware of. And the last item is what is important. It says village mayors do not have the power to veto any board action. What we had at the last board meeting was a lawful action. So apparently, a veto occurred. So unless this veto is rectified ASAP, like tomorrow, I'm going to turn this matter over to the NICOM legal board for their review. But worse than that is, this was very clear what we wanted. We voted on this. There was no discussion about details in this. We were very specific what we wanted in this letter to ERS. It was definitely chopped out of any letter. There was nothing in that letter that mentioned anything about wanting to negotiate with them for the purchase of these 2 buildings. Now, I know you're opposed to 2 buildings. That's fine. But what happened was a legal order was not executed. It was subterfuged. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I've lost all respect for your management ability based on this and other actions. And I would, for the good of the village, the good of the board, I would ask you to seriously consider resigning as the mayor of the village of Rouses Point. Thank you.
Is that all you have?
That's all I have.
Okay, other reports. Administrator?
We have a communication today from the Empire State Trail folks who are looking for us to select up to 4 photos of the area of Rouses Point. It can be historical, anything important, interesting about the area. That will go on the Empire State Trail trailhead, and accompanying that about 100 words of text for each, which they will help to wordsmith if it needs that. It will be bilingual, and so they're looking for your opinions or suggestions, assistance with what photos would be good to use to demonstrate the character, the nature of the village. So wanted to bring that to your attention so we can have make sure we get really what the right images are, and they really need this before the first of the year.
Ben, you have photographs? You got a million photographs. But you have something that might be appropriate for this? I'm thinking like a picture of the fort and maybe a picture of the waterfront or a park or something, or maybe this facility.
Well, I got a picture of the fort, for sure. Got quite a few pictures. I remember one time we had a big exercise out here, a group of motorcycles and stuff like that filled the parking lot full, and half the street, stuff like that. I got a photo of that. I don't know if that'd be any help to you, or whatever, but
Well, maybe you could pick out 3 or 4 pictures you got and go over them with Steve and see
Yeah.
which ones you want to submit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
'Cause I know you take a picture, you get pretty much everything now.
Yeah.
I know from Jack Ross here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, you tell me what kind of pictures you want and I'll bring some albums down, you can go through them or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I think they're largely leaning toward, historical, geographic, like that type of thing, that sets Rouse's Point apart from any other community, meaning when you see that photo or you read the caption that it's different, it's, new, interesting, whatever. And you actually send me examples as well, so I can send those to you as well.
I'd rather look at them than you send them to me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an email person
You
or
got it.
whatever, so.
No problem. I'll put them in your mailbox, how's that?
Excellent. Very good.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, our son?
I don't have anything.
Okay, Superintendent Pelkey.
Update on the wastewater treatment facility. They had a DEC inspection. Everything went very well. We should be getting a report on their findings. They seem to be pleased the way the plant is being ran and the condition of it. The water plant, they painted that vessel, the DE vessel for the #2 industrial system. We're planning to put that back online within another week. And we have all the injection pump for the new DE pump hooked up. So we want to get that up and running so both are identical and they're running fine. And then we want to have a meeting with AES to talk about our findings. And we should have at least the commissioners there, along with myself and John Bernard and the chief water plant operator, to discuss why they put those DE pumps in the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
And see if we can get some reimbursement back from them.
Excellent.
Electric department, they're working on a few loose ends. Stray voltage testing, we gotta finish that up. They gotta do the street lights at night. The Christmas decorations are going up slow in between the weather. Street department's working on, of course, water leaks and plug sewers and equipment, plowing. Any questions for me? What's going on out there?
We have a school coming up pretty soon or so,
Four.
underground.
It's the same days as our harassment training. Fortunately, there's a conflict.
Well, I think the underground schooling is a little more important. That's in Syracuse.
Yes.
I'd like to see somebody go to it. I mean, they don't have very many underground schools, just strictly underground and stuff like that, and this is a pretty good school.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, how many guys you want to go to that?
At least 1 or 2, anyhow, if possible.
Yeah, well, you only have 2, so.
Yeah. Well, would
Do
you
you
like
both
to
need to
go?
go, or is it the kind of thing that one can go and tell the other one, or is it something they should both go to?
Usually I send both because when one, they can discuss what they learn and sometimes, it works better.
So
when-
what would that be, like go down and, it's in Syracuse. so
They
you
would
got
go down on
a day to
Monday.
get down there.
They would go down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and come back Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon.
So leave like Monday at noon.
Yes. And all the training follows Monday night, Tuesday, and Tuesday afternoon.
Okay, why don't we do this? We'll make a motion to approve them to go to that, providing that we can get another date for them to pick up that harassment training. You know, if it's being offered, like, say, in Champlain or something, that they can go to.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Because that's required.
Okay, let me ask you a question. We already had this sexual harassment class here back in October or so, or something like that, wasn't it?
No, it was a year ago.
Or a year ago?
This is
Okay.
when we had to come in here and sit
Oh,
there in
okay.
the morning.
All right. The fire department has to do the same thing.
Right.
Now, what happens, I don't think half of the fire department is gonna attend that.
Yep.
So what happens to that?
No idea.
Benny, I've had some discussions with them about that. They've had some discussions with me. They just, me as a trustee, they contacted me. I checked with the administrator, and they're leaning towards, they're gonna sign up sheet over there now, the fire department. They're leaning towards a date in February, because they can't get anybody together in December. And so, it was agreed upon, to my understanding, that the village would send the representative who's gonna give the class to them in February, middle of February, maybe, I don't know what date.
And you're still not gonna get all of them.
No, right.
So what happens then? I mean, what's the legal action or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know.
The law hasn't articulated any sort of ramification for that. I would imagine that would probably come out over time.
So nothing at this point, nothing.
But if it's not offered by the village, I think that exposes the village to a different level of challenges.
Yeah.
We'll do the best we can. Priorities on the electricians that are going to the other.
Well, that's what I
Maybe they
say, I
can-
think that's,
Maybe they can piggyback onto the one with the fire department when they have that come up. How's that?
There'll be a nighttime one, probably at 7 o'clock or something like that. But you've got a sign-up sheet, they're waiting to see who's gonna sign up for it in December. Give us a couple months' notice.
all right.
All right, so I need a motion to approve the,
I so moved on a motion to, 2 guys to go to Syracuse to the underground class.
electric department. Okay, the second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Code enforcement officer.
We're still waiting to get our, our computer program updated. We found out the old program and the new program are not compatible. Steve came down to help me out a little bit, and Donna kind of straightened it out. We decided to go with some different forms. Mickey and I are going to go through the forms or Wednesday morning. We're going to choose what we feel is the best applications for the village, and then they'll put them in, they'll program them in for us. But what we have available now is not compatible with what the new program is.
Okay, so in other words, we're gonna get it fixed.
Oh, yeah,
That's how it
definitely.
works. Yeah,
We're
okay.
just, I spoke to the other day, and he'd like to have Mickey in on the decisions to make the, which forms I think he'd work the best.
Mhm.
Well, Mickey's been doing this since '03, and I feel that's only the proper thing to do.
Right.
He's known the problems that we run into in Champlain and Rouses Point also. I think that's, as soon as we do that, he's gonna get right back onto it and get it running for me. As far as the Golden Horse in the village, this is the first time I heard about this safety issue, and I'm gonna check on that, see what I can find out for us. And I'll report to you, I'll let Steve.
Yeah.
I'll let Steve know where we're at with that. If anybody else comes up with anything, please give it to Donna, she'll put it in my box, and I will check it.
Okay, appreciate it. Working out okay for you so far?
Oh, yeah. I just want to get the darn program up to date, and I got information, I'm getting everything filed away. You said you'd bring those boxes down to the office down there?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. I'll let you get everything lined up, and like I said, this is gonna be so that in the event that I'm not around, Donna can go down there, or Steve can go down there, and he'll know exactly where everything is.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah, well, that's what it should be. But that's where we're at. As soon as we get it, we get with Mickey, and we'll get approval, we'll go to Steve, and he's gonna take care of it. We should be good to go.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, we need a,
I make a motion to adjourn.
that's what I need. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.